what's up? It's Ryan from Adaptive Tech here, and today I'm going to be reviewing, well, first impressions of the iPhone 11 Pro. If you're excited about this video, then I guess you're in the right place, because I am super happy with this phone so far. So let's first talk about the design of the phone. The design feels very premium, has a matte texture on the back, matte green. I got the midnight green color. This is the first ever premium iPhone I've gotten. I've had the iPhone XR, I've had the iPhone 8 Plus, I've never gotten like 10s. I always gotten the lesser version. I've always wanted this stainless steel matte texture phone. And if you're curious, I did pay it off outright. So I paid about, been amazing. And I think it was worth that price. And I'm gonna get into that right now. And I want you guys to understand my logic and my point of view of how I look at this phone compared to everyone else. So first thing I really like about this phone are the cameras. The cameras are incredible. Actually, right now I'm recording on my iPhone 11, just so I can have it as a backup phone. I'm also paying that one off monthly, so I make a pretty decent income, so that's why I can afford that. But yeah, I'm also selling my iPhone XR, so that's gonna make up for most of the cost of this. But for why you're saying, oh my god, I cannot speak. For the design and the cameras are incredible. You can record in 4K 60 video on all three cameras. Take that, Samsung. But also at the same time, you can do a lot of cool things with the iPhone camera. People always say this. People are like, 3 cameras isn't new. 3 cameras is just like, aren't new hardware. Freaking phones from 3 to 4 years ago have had 3 cameras on the back. First of all, the ultra-wide camera and the iPhone is the best one out of any others I've used. I have the Samsung Galaxy S10e right here and the LG G8 ThinQ. Both have an ultra-wide camera. They both look like garbage in my opinion. I don't think they look very good. Where the iPhone, it doesn't look great. Like, I'm not going to say it looks as good as a primary sensor, but it definitely does not look as bad as those Android phones I just shouted out. Yeah, I roast Android sometimes. But the iPhone 11 Pro, what I really like about this phone is just how good the cameras are. And I know I already said that, but how good the video performance is. I mean, you guys are listening to me on the iPhone 11 right now, and this has the exact same cameras as the iPhone 11 Pro. The only difference is this one has a telephoto lens at a f2.0 aperture, so that's really the only difference, but you don't need to know that, right? So for the design and the cameras, A+, A+. One thing that was a little shocking to me, one thing I thought I would not have noticed, is the performance is a lot faster than my iPhone XR. I don't know why this is. I don't know if my XR is just going through some software bugs right now. It is on a beta, so maybe that has something to do with it. Or maybe the software was just better optimized for this one because iOS 13 shipped on here where iOS 13 did not ship on the XR. I don't know. It just feels faster. Face ID feels faster. The user interface doesn't stutter. Everything just feels faster on this phone compared to the iPhone XR. Again, I don't know why, because the performance between these two phones is pretty similar in terms of Geekbench scores. If you're curious about the Geekbench scores, so I hate Geekbench 5. I don't know why they changed it, but you know what? Change is inevitable, so whatever. On Geekbench 4, it got 5,400 on single and about 14,000 on multi, where the iPhone XR got around 4,800 on single and around, it varied a lot, but it was like around 11,000 on multi. So it's not a huge performance gain, but I also do think that it is a bigger performance gain than what you got from the A11 to A12 in terms of just pure performance. So you also have to take that into account. Another thing I really like about this phone is the battery life so far has been incredible. I took this out to a game where my Seahawks got blown out, but besides the point, I really am impressed by the battery life of this phone. If you didn't know, it has 4 hours of better battery life compared to the iPhone XS, which is a huge upgrade. And they didn't even increase the battery too much inside. I think they increased it by like 400 milliamp hours, from like 2,629 to like 3,049. Like, it's a really small upgrade. But because of how efficient the A13 chip is in this phone, A lot of it has to do with the fact that efficiency of a chip is a major part of why battery life is so good on this used iPhones. So just take that into account. The iPhone 11 Pro has fantastic battery life so far. So far, I've not had a full day with this thing. I got it yesterday at like 3 p.m. So I've used it for around 4 to 5 hours. So take it with a grain of salt. But so far, the battery life has been as good or even a little bit better than my iPhone XR, which is awesome. And I'm so happy that this phone does have that. Another cool feature is the better Face ID. People have been complaining about this. People are like, it doesn't really work at other angles and stuff. I've tested it extensively against the XR. It does work at more angles. Like, I don't want you guys to think that it doesn't. If I have it laying on the table, like right here, I could just look at it. It didn't work there, that's embarrassing. But I could just look at it like this. I'm too far. God, I hate Face ID. Okay, never mind. I don't hate it. I love it. But, okay, but you get the point. The Face ID does work in more angles. Maybe not as much as I would like. It's like, I think like 10% of each angle a little bit more. Like, it's very slight. The speed improvement, though, I do notice it's a tad bit faster. It's so unnoticeable, though, that to the average person, they won't even notice it. Another thing that is super underrated about this phone that I kind of wanted to bring up is the fact that the body has a matte texture, and I understand why is that like a big deal. The matte texture feels amazing, and actually the Apple logo being glossy kind of gives it a little bit of a grip, because whenever you're gripping the phone, your finger kind of has a grip on the Apple logo, which I think is like a utilitarian process that Apple does. I don't know how they did that, but I think that's pretty cool. Also, the camera looks really cool with how the glass kind of forms into it. It's just a really good looking phone. It really is. I don't know what else I can really talk about. I guess the screen is really fantastic. Personally, I don't see a huge difference between the iPhone 11s and this one's screen. This one seems a bit more vibrant, a bit more sharp, and it definitely is a better screen. I don't want you to convince you otherwise, but it's not so much better than people make it out to be. People are like, the iPhone XR and iPhone 11 screen are garbage, and I'm like, no, they're not. Have you ever seen them in person? They look incredible. And compared to the iPhone 11 Pro, the screens are worse, like, no doubts, but at the same time, the 11 Pro screen isn't so much better than the iPhone 11 screen. The biggest Achilles heel of this phone is not the price tag. I think the price is actually fair. It's the iPhone 11. That's the biggest Achilles heel to this phone. This phone, if it was $899, if it was a flagship phone for Apple, it would sell like hotcakes. But because Apple's taking a new direction where they're pretty much making budget phones for a budget price, well, budget is comparative. I mean, $699 in today's market is pretty low if you compare it to Samsung's phones. And I think the iPhone 11 beats this Galaxy S10e in every single way, but again, my opinion. But at the same time, you guys just have to remember that it's Apple, alright? They're going to charge a little bit of a premium for the iOS experience, and personally, I would pay that premium if it means I could have iOS. So, that's pretty much my recap of this phone. If you like this video, you can please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I hope you guys like the new setup, and I should be here maybe another time pretty soon, but no promises, okay? But thank you. Bye!